The Manitoba Advocate for Children and Youth wish to acknowledge that we are located on the original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the beautiful homeland of the MACY Nation.
How long should we let it play for?
We should do people some justice and stop it now.
All right. Well, we're back, and I have Michael. He's very popular around here, as you can tell. The crowd's going. And my name's John, and we are with the Manitoba Advocate for Children and Youth. And Michael is a member of the Youth Ambassador Advisory Squad, YAAS. Oh, YAAS. I know, it wasn't a funny joke. All right. So, Michael, how are you doing?
You're really milking the pre-recorded sounds.
Hey, you guys found them and showed them to me, and now I'm just all about...
Well, now that there's an adult doing it, it's
not as cool.
It's not as cool.
Hey, you know what? We should mention Halloween's coming up. Okay, I'll stop. I'll leave it.
I just woke up like 20 minutes ago, so...
Oh, that must be nice.
I want to go back to sleep.
Well, let's get into one of the rights. Let's do that, Mr. Apple Cider Vinegar. I'm not letting you live that one down. Shout out to Trevor, who helped create that name.
Article, the UNCRC article /right 5. Your family is responsible for teaching you about your rights and helping to protect them.
So,
Wow, that's...
what do you think?
That doesn't exist nowadays, right now. Like, I got not much to say on that, because never saw it. I know so many other people have never saw. Family taking responsibility, teaching kids their rights and this and that, because, you know, I had certain rights to certain things, you know, in CFS. And then later I find out, oh, I could have had this, I could have done this, but my foster parent didn't tell me I was the one that made that decision. I was the person that carried that right. So it's kind of tricky. Parents are tricky. A lot of foster parents I know, at least foster parents, not all, but quite a bit of them are tricky.
So, when you're talking your family is responsible for teaching you about your rights and helping to protect them, family can look like so many different things as well. And I would maybe then challenge you to think of it outside of, and those watching, and replacing your family with adult caregivers, right? Adults that are involved in your life have a responsibility for teaching you about your rights and helping to protect them.
True. It's kind of hard to say what family is. Like, is it the household you're under? Is it your worker or a teacher? Or I don't know, because you know, if you're a foster kid, you don't really have a sense of what a family is. So,
And you know, we've had some great connection with education and lots of teachers connecting with us about teaching youth their rights, and I think that's important, you know. So that's an extension of the family being responsible. So you have educators that are taking it upon themselves to instruct and inform youth about their rights, and also helping to protect them, you know. When you're talking about education, teachers going to bat to making sure their students, for example, and their rights to the education is being met. So we can expand it, of course, beyond just the traditional, what's thought of as the traditional your family piece. Let's talk about YAAS, Youth Ambassador Advisory Squad. What kind of work do you do with them? Us.
Them.
Them. Well, because we talked about, it's YAAS is part of MACY, right?
Yeah.
It's the Youth Ambassador
Yeah.
Advisory Squad, part of MACY. So, what kind of work do you guys do? If somebody was asking, hey, what's this YAAS I've been hearing about? Like, what are some of the things that you guys have actually accomplished, that you youth have accomplished as part of YAAS so far?
It's hard for me to remember. I usually put accomplishments at the back of my head.
You're humble.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know why I put accomplishments back in my head, but anyway, what did we do? I guess we review stuff with you guys. Check out what's it called? I don't know the exact detail of the stuff we've looked at and critiqued. I
Like
guess I would say.
reports.
Yeah,
we
reports.
look at reports.
What else have we done? We've met with different, what would you call it, organizations?
Yeah, youth serving organizations.
Yeah, talked. What else did we do? We ran the office for a day.
Youth takeover event.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's quickly talk about the youth takeover for this year. National Child Day.
How's that going to happen? It's not.
You're not taking over the office this time.
Are we taking over social media?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think to a certain degree.
to a certain
right. And
nerf our abilities a little bit.
one of your brilliant ideas as part of YAAS was developing these. Right here, you got these got rights boxes. So we've sent out on social media a request for any educators and teachers out there that would like to receive one of these boxes with their classroom. This came straight from you guys. It was a way of spreading right number 5. So you guys took it upon yourselves and saying YAAS is responsible for teaching youth about their rights. So these rights boxes are going to contain MACY swag. They got rights t-shirts, but I think most importantly, with your guys' help, you guys have helped develop an idea of these educational boxes that are going out to teach youth about their rights. Teach them about National Child Day on November 20th, and teach them about the UNCRC, and of course a bit about MACY, so that when their rights aren't being met, who do they call?
I just thought of Mythbusters. No, not Mythbusters. Ghostbusters. And he said that. Who are you gonna call?
Who are you gonna call? Maybe we need a button. I'm not
gonna say the rest because it's copyright issues.
I might be pressing that button too much if we had that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. We don't need to put that in there.
Let's talk about right number 13, the UNCRC article/right number 13. You have the right to learn and share information as long as it doesn't harm other people.
It's hard to say what that means. There's probably a reason why it doesn't say what that means. Right to share information, right to learn and share information. So
you have the right to learn and share information as long as it doesn't harm other people, which means what? So when you're looking at the word share information, you're getting information from something or somebody and sharing that information and learning from that as long as it doesn't harm other people.
That's a tricky one. That seems like a double-edged sword. That seems like it's got a loophole for itself. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Personal opinion, that right seems like it's got a loophole to save itself. Because information is everything nowadays, and I'm sure there's things that some people would go, yeah, this child's got too much information. The loophole is this child's harming people.
But
Does seem
child
like
has
a
too much
double-edged sword.
information. They have a right to that information.
Yeah. No, it just seems like a double-edged sword to me. Personal opinion. Don't bring me to the stake. Yes.
Thought it was a joke.
That was great. It's hard to tell when I'm joking. My voice tone doesn't really change when I joke.
But so I'll throw this at you then. As an adult, then, would you say then it falls on a responsibility of adults to make sure what we're putting out there is accurate? Because knowing that that youth have a right to learn and share information, then we can flip that to the adults.
That's a different road
Mm-hmm.
on this, right? There's a few roads I can see on this and how it's used. The said right.
Because I mean, youth, as you know, the younger you get, the obviously are impressionable. And with social media the way it is nowadays, youth are getting lots of information from social media. So it'd be just like this show, us sharing information. We got to make sure what we're putting out there is accurate, and is safe and is appropriate, because we know that youth have a right to have that information.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be sharing a bunch of
What does
lies
harm
and things like
mean?
that.
Offended.
Harm? You tell me, what does harm to a youth
Like,
mean then?
Because it's the internet day and age, and harm is now very much a mental thing. So that's why I say this seems like a double-edged sword. Let's say somebody is just genuinely sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody feels harmed by that, so they want to shut them up, and they know this right's got a double-edged sword, and it could stop and shut down that said child, youth, whatever.
And I would say this falls on
This
youth
is the
too.
only right that seems really tricky to me, because it
Yeah.
literally seems like a double-edged sword.
Personal
So
opinion.
it's like it gives the youth, child, whatever, the right to learn and share information, but it also gives you a backup to stop that child from learning and sharing information.
So then maybe it's also about,
Because knowledge is power. Even adults
Yes.
know that. And they try to restrict youth from knowing their rights, knowing what they have access to, knowing what they're allowed access to, and knowing what they can do, knowing their own future. Many adults, they guide their own children to what they think is the path they should take, instead of them taking the path they want to take. I'm getting too deep into this. I gotta stop talking about this.
that's good though. That's the way that these rights come across, is they're left. And I think it's interesting when you ask a youth, and I could ask you your thoughts on Article Right 13. You have the right to learn and share information as long as it doesn't harm other people. You're going to have a different response, or at least a different take on it than another youth. And I think that's what these rights are meant to do. Is they're not supposed to be defined precisely. I think they're supposed to be able for interpretation, so that you're not stuck. Because we're going to wrap it up here, and I want to leave a shout out for you to put out there. We're going to do a little shout out. What did we talk about? Because I thought you had something you want to put out there. The game.
Oh, I guess so. Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition just came out. If you know the game Age of Empires 3, 2007, they had Native American, Indigenous, Aboriginal, whatever the heck title you want. First Nations people of North America were depicted not in a good way. All other nations are depicted properly, historically accurate, and they had their own liberties when creating the game. As they said, they have a note on the game. I guess we can try and post it here. They properly did it. They met with people from the Lakota and Haudenosaunee and etc., and properly interpreted the language and other cultural aspects into the game, and put an acknowledgement for that in the game. That's the first thing that popped up when I played the game, and I was like, I was just clapping. I was clapping. It was nice. It was nice. Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition came out today. Oh, today is October 15th at 8 a.m. That's why I'm tired.
Explains a lot.
Yep.
So just want to say, be sure to come back next week. Check out another episode of Michael, maybe another youth from our youth ambassador team. Hopefully, then I don't have to sit here, and it can be another youth. And I think maybe somebody that's playing with the buttons a little less might be a little less distracting, you know. So I just want to say we're going to add some links in the video description. Make sure to check those out. There's helpful phone numbers. And as always, I say, you know, every week I've been on for the Manitoba Advocate and Children and Youth. If you're not sure if you should be calling, then just call, because you're never going to be turned away. You're always going to speak to one of our advocates. And you
If
know
you're
what?
ever turned away, call me.
Call Michael. We'll put his phone number right here. No, we won't. I won't post it for you. But so 1-800-263-7146. Be sure to contact our office if you need support and any assistance regarding, you know, your own youth rights and any caregivers out there. And just give us a call. And I guess we'll be talking to you. And is it time for the music cue? Can I push the button? Or do you want to
The
push
moment you push that button, I'm standing up and walking away.
All right, then.